What's different? Cheers. Cheers.
It's now a month since we came down this hill on the way to attempt Dhaulagiri, to our base camp down at the bottom behind me. It's been a bit of a roller coaster month. We had initially made some good progress getting Camp 1 in on the northeast col, and then fairly quickly getting up to Camp 2 with 2 tents there up at about 6,750 metres, and that was good progress, and that was in line with where we wanted to be. We then, I think, hit a bit of an impasse. We were the biggest team on the mountain, and kind of came with the biggest presence and being part of a military team as well, which made it very difficult to stick to our original plan of not using fixed ropes or fixing minimal amounts of rope, especially seeing as we were using, not necessarily relying on, but certainly using the ropes from the other teams on the lower mountain. So we're having established Camp 2 pretty early on. We then got a little bit bogged down, waiting for decent weather, waiting for snow to clear so that we could fix the route up to Camp 3, which is halfway up the rocky ridge towards the summit. And that certainly took time, although having said that, during that time there were really no decent windows when we could have had a go at the summit, even if we were sticking to our original light and fast plan. So we finished up with a bit of a hybrid plan, part fixed, part moving light and moving fast and establishing camps. The advantage to being able to move without forever having to transit back to base camp was that the lower reaches of the route proved to be very dangerous. The so-called Little Eiger, when it was snowy, was throwing big avalanches down on us.
How's that for you, mate?
And when it was dry, the rockfall risk went up, so we were very keen to avoid transiting that as much as possible. Beyond that, between Camp 1 and Camp 2, and then above to Camp 3, the terrain was reasonably safe, albeit for some nasty crevasses and the like. So I think in summary we did well. We made rapid progress to Camp 2, then after a bit of a hiatus we got Camp 3 established with 1 tent up at 7,500 metres, which was an ideal altitude really to then launch a bid for the summit. In part, the team that established that camp were the strongest team, and they wore themselves out a little bit establishing that camp, which didn't help, although that's the nature of the beast, and we couldn't do a lot about that. And then having got the camp in a really good place, we had poor weather windows. We needed a day to summit without oxygen. We needed a day with minimal wind really, and we never got winds below 30 kilometres an hour.
Tell me what's happening.
Summit bid. 4 men in a tent.
So we did 800 metres descent from Camp 2 to Camp 3. Pretty miserable. Weather is playing a hoolie, as you can probably tell. Leave at about 12:30. Tomorrow morning, I can't see it happening if the wind stays like this. Or the only other option is to maybe go at sunrise when the wind calms down and it's a bit warmer. Failing that, I think we may have to go back down to base camp for a couple of days rest and then try again.
So in summary, I think we did really well. We had a good plan, a plan that would have worked. We were unlucky with the weather. We possibly didn't have enough people strong enough towards the end of the trip to force the advantage we made. And at the end of the day, the deciding factor was the weather.